How do you get that perfect 80s chorusing guitar sound?
I would use a tri-stereo and a Dimension D.
Okay, I'm confident enough to say, Mason, that I did not know what these units were.
So these are two stereo rack units, the tri-stereo chorus, which is analog, single space rack chorus, and then the Dimension D, which was made by Roland. If we're looking at sort of a typical signal path of that era, I've got a version here from one of my buddies that made this up. It's a Bradshaw rack that Lukather had, very similar to what Dan Huff would have used. The guitar comes in to a Mesa Boogie head. Dan was mostly using a studio preamp, goes into a resistive load box, and then you have a compressor, an EQ of some kind that goes into a stereo chorus, and there would be an additional stereo chorus, would feed into another mixer that would have detune and some digital reverb, and then that would go out to two separate Roland SDE 3000.
How do you recreate this today?
There's no way to fully do it. There are pedals that emulate the tri-stereo chorus. Some that I can think of are Tri-Avatar from Free the Tone, the Tri-Sarah chorus from Eventide. For the Dimension sound, you've got the Boss Wazacraft version of the Dimension C. Dan was using all this stuff after a line out. Most of us would be using these all as serial effects in front of the amp, which is not really the same thing. That made the original tri-stereo chorus was called Dino My Piano. Dan actually had the clone version that was identical but made in Japan called the Songbird. It had like a little bird head on it as opposed to this wacky piano.